Hi, my name is Deborah Henney. I'm a wife, author, mother, speaker. Today I'm going to release a prophetic word entitled Goshen. And I started to get this on December 26th of 2023, and it came more fully on the 30th. It really felt like a word that was going to be unfolding throughout 2024, and I believe even into 2025. And what I felt the Lord say, there is a Goshen for my people, a place of fruitfulness and bounty, a place of provision, a place that I have set aside, consecrated, and ordained. There is not one place called Goshen, but many, for I am El Shaddai, the God of more than enough, and Jireh, provider. Do not worry about the upcoming shakings, though they be great. Do not turn your eyes to them and so be distracted, but remain aligned with me. I have already placed in hearts plans, visions, and burdens filled with my wisdom, much like I did Joseph before the famine throughout the land. Run with it. I have sent these ahead to prepare for what the enemy has meant for evil. I will demonstrate that above all, I am God. I am good, and I go before you. And that was very emphasized in the spirit. I am God, I am good, and I go before you. Goshen will be a meeting place, a place of unity and putting together of visions, shoulders, and arms, a place where provision is for all who come. I will draw many to these Goshens throughout the world, driven by hungry pursuit, and there they will find rest and deep fulfillment received only through the currency of faith. In Goshen will be found manna, sustenance through faith and faithfulness, and even miracles, not once, not twice, but repeatedly for the duration, just as I did for the widow who faithfully housed my servant Elijah. There will be bounty and large-scale harvests in Goshen, even as the surrounding areas groan and crack with great thirst. Some would call this unexpected and astonishing, but I call it ordained. Goshen will be a place where I rain down my blessing, a place where my presence will be a guard and a canopy. There will be no mistaking my blessing and provision in this time, for I will set apart the faithful as a light of hope to the nations, an undeniable sign of my goodness, faithfulness, and provision. So, when I received this, I very much felt and sensed as though it had a lot of natural implications. That there was something in the natural that would cause a great shaking. These great shakings that God has talked about repeatedly in words that we're not to be afraid, not to be distracted by them, but to remain aligned with Him. And there's a sense that that's a very natural thing. Whether that's figurative shakings or literal natural shakings in the earth. But regardless of that, God is saying here, He's placed in people's hearts visions and a burden to do something, to carry out specific plans that will be provision for this whole next season and era. And God says, run with it. Run with it. If He told you to do something specific to prepare, and you're like, well, why? And maybe it doesn't quite make total sense. I would take it to the Lord and pray and see if He brings that releasing to run with it. Because He said that He placed visions, plans, and burdens specifically to prepare for the season and go with it. And that is a way that He is going before you. He is preparing that for you. But He also says that there will be manna, which was that miraculous provision every single day in the wilderness. And that sustenance through faith and God's faithfulness will be miraculous, not once or twice, but repeatedly. And He also kind of mentions the story of the widow, and that was the oil that didn't run out. That there will be miraculous provision, but there's also preparatory provision. So there's both that God is talking to here, both natural preparation and faith that God will work miracles to provide during this time. And he says that this Goshen, and again, Goshen was where the Israelites lived during the plagues, or in Egypt, and the plagues did not affect Goshen. They affected Egypt. So these Goshens that God is setting up and ordaining all over the place will be a place of God's canopy of protection. There will be blessing there. There'll be provision there, and miraculous provision there. It'll be set apart as a light of hope to the nations, an undeniable sign of God's goodness, faithfulness, and provision. So again, take this word, I would say, before the Lord, and see if you are one of those set up like a Joseph who has been given a divine wisdom and instruction for a plan, to go with it, to run with it, because God is setting up various areas of these Goshen places that will be key for provision and also a light of hope for the nations. Until next time.